This
I'm your
conference will now be recorded.
SAP FICO trainer, and today I will walk you through we will have a brief session on FICO module. So what is this SAP? So first I will walk you through the introduction of SAP. Then I will walk you through module we will be having within the SAP. So let's get started. In this PPT, we will have an introduction with SAP software, how we can make our career with SAP. Then in the real time, we have multiple departments, different function areas, and for these function areas, SAP has given us the modules. So what are those modules? We will also see them. Then we have the companies who are using this SAP software. This is a ERP software, and this is like your ERP, and this SAP they are using in their companies, and we will also see business partners of SAP and roles and responsibilities. Methodology to get this SAP implemented in any of the company, and this methodology has been given by the SAP. It is known as ASAP. ASAP means advanced. It is the accelerated SAP methodology. Under this, we so I am back. Okay. So I was just sharing with you the SAP. It stands for Systems, Applications, and Product for the Data Processing. And it was a company founded by IBM employees, 5 IBM employees. It's based out of Germany. It's been into the market, ERP market, since 1972, and it is leading the ERP market. So when we are saying ERP, anybody let me know what is the ERP? What is the full form of ERP?
It's enterprises resources planning.
Yes, very right. Very right. Actually, we have the resources. It is known as Surya. I think I was disconnected. Now I'm back. So I hope you will be able to hear me.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm hearing.
Okay. Yeah. So we are talking about here ERP. ERP stand for Enterprise Resources and Planning. So enterprise means any company which has the resources, and these resources can be man, material, machine, and we need to plan these resources in such a way so that we can get the maximum productivity, efficiency, and this can be done through by using any of the ERP. And in the market we have been given multiple ERPs brands we have. So we have BAR, we have like SAP, we have also Oracle Financials, we have BAR, we have Microsoft Dynamic, but SAP is leading this ERP market. Why? Because it has biggest player. It is the biggest player covering more than 25 industry specific business solutions and more than 75,000 customers in 120 plus countries. Actually, why this SAP is so popular? There are two reasons. One, it's been so old, and it can be adapted to any of the enterprise, any of the sector it can be used. And second, it is flexible software. It is flexible software in such a way because it can be connected with any of the interface actually over the time. So we don't need to I would say get out of it. We don't need to replace it. So with the same software we will be able to get a new technology, new software, new application connected. So that is the reason, and also this can be done by putting a less investment. So that is the reason. So these companies which are using this SAP for so long, so they are using their latest technology with this ERP, within this ERP only. So if they want any prices to be determined from any of the software, so it can be done through the interface. So basically it is a flexible software which can be connected with any of the application, with any of the latest I would say technology we have in the market. Then SAP is a enterprise software suite used to manage your ERP. ERP we have already discussed, resource planning. Then how we can make our career with SAP? So definitely SAP training is going to be a value addition to our career, and it can be learned by any of the professional. He could be or she could be fresher or experienced, and he could also be a student. By having this training, this will take like 2 to 3 months. Normally within 2 months we'll be able to complete this training program, but it doesn't mean that after this you will be master in this. So in order to get professional or expert in this SAP, you need to do the hands-on. And even if you are on any of the job, so for example after completing this training, so after 6 months, 5 months, or after completion of this training, if you get the job, then you are expected to learn some new things on that. You may be given some assignment which may be new for you, so for that you need to learn the new things. So this is learning. Learning is going to be a continuous process in this area, in this SAP. If you are a good learner, then this is the right area, right job for you. But if you are not a good learner, then this you may find some challenges, because whatever the because I can just give you a gist of SAP, what we do as a consultant, but in the real time when you will be given different kind of work, so that you can come to know, you will experience it by doing it. So here I will give you a high level understanding what normally, what most of the time we come across the business scenarios, and how we handle it, and how we can do the fulfill the requirement, so that I will let you know during this training program. Then the software is going to help. And why SAP is using, like companies prefer to have this SAP in their companies, because it is going to help them to generate the revenues, and also to cut down the cost, to reduce the cost of any of the company by applying the best practices. So best practices, these are given by whom? These are given by the SAP. So SAP is saying that by having a so rich experience, and they are doing this implementation or support for so long for so many clients, so they have come to know different industry, their clients, their business processes, and accordingly that process can be done in an efficient way. How that can be done? So for that SAP has already made a best practice. So if we follow that best practice, and we will be able to complete that process in an efficient way. So this is what it is saying, that with this we can reduce the cost and we can generate the revenue. Then it is saying that it provides the control over the various business processes. Actually in the SAP, what you will find out various business processes, because these processes, we call them this is the SOPs. Okay, so these SOPs are the standard oriented processes. These you will find in your client's area, in the client business. So in order to complete a particular task, we have a process in client's area. Okay, now how that process can be maintained in the SAP software, and how it can be followed or it can be completed, this we will be able to find out as a consultant. So it is saying that it provides a better control over the various business processes. So these processes, I give you example. Let's say we need to post some invoice. We need to, just a minute, one call is coming. Okay, so we have various business processes. So the famous business processes we can discuss procurement to pay and order to cash. So procurement to pay means, so when we are procuring any goods or services till the payment, so we have the steps. So how we can follow those steps in the SAP, so that we are going to see. Then it is saying that we have the order to cash, which will help us to sell our product or services to our customers. So how we can create a sale order and how we can receive a incoming from our customers. So again, it will have a series of steps. So how we can follow those steps, and for that in the backend, what are the settings required that we need to know. Then it is saying that for these processes, what we can have through the SAP, it is going to increase the productivity. By using this SAP software, we can increase the productivity, better inventory management. So when we need to reorder, when that material we need to order from the vendor, so these steps, these decisions, we will be able to take it, and through with the help of this SAP software. Then it is saying that it is going to give us the quality and human and effective human resource management. So we can have the employees, and those employees we can manage under the HR module we have, and it will also give us it will also improve the customer service. So as I just shared with you, in the real time, we have many functional areas. So these functional areas are your finance, then we have the purchase, then we have sales and distribution, and we have cost control, we have production, we have human resource, we have the some other area also, plant management, which I have not mentioned here. So these are the functional areas, and for these functional areas, SAP has given us the module. So for the finance, we have been given the module called SAP FI, and for the purchase, we have SAP MM. MM stands for material management. Then for the sales and distribution, we have been given the module called SAP S&D. Then for the controlling, we have SAP CO. For production, it is PP, production planning, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the functional areas, functional module I have mentioned here, but we have many others also. Okay, so we can't add all these module here. So just to give you a high level understanding, I have just mentioned some of those functional modules. Now for these functional module, if we need any programming skill, if we need any coding skill, answer is no. It is good to have, but it is not mandatory. So for the programming skill, for the coding skill, we have been given a technical module, and this technical module name is SAP ABAP. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming. So for functional module, we don't require the programming and coding skill, whereas for the technical, if somebody is from the technical background, so he or whoever is having the interest in the programming or coding, then they can just go with this SAP ABAP module. So there are so many companies, big companies, mid-sized companies, using this SAP software as ERP in India and US. So I just mentioned some of them in the different sectors. Then who are the business partner of SAP? So SAP Labs. So this SAP is a company which gives the license so that we can use the software in our company, and it is not mandatory that this, in order to get the SAP implementation, you need to get the services of this implementation from SAP only. Actually, SAP has a huge clientele. So what they have done, so in order to cater to a huge clientele, so they have made the business partner. They have made their business partner, and what these companies will do. So like we have the company HCL, TCS, or Deloitte, PwC. So these companies will be doing the work of implementation and support on the behalf of SAP, and they will be paying some amount to SAP, and they will be like also getting benefited from this services. And what will happen, so this implementation work, support work will be done by these companies, but the license is going to be given by the SAP only. So we call them business partner of SAP. Then we have two roles when we are working on the SAP software. One is end user, and second is the consultant. So end user is your business user role, Business user role is a very limited role where we need to follow day-to-day activities, and same kind of activity we need to follow. So you will be given the authorization for 2 or 3 transaction codes through which you will be able to perform your activities, where the consultant role is wider role. So it will reach more than like some of the areas. So we have to look after payments, we have to look after the invoices, we have to look after various areas. So that is the reason the area of consultant will always be bigger than the end user, and that is the reason. So the importance or the demand for the consultant is more than the end user. So here, what are the job responsibilities we have for the end user? So he is a person responsible for to perform day-to-day business activity, like what, like processing or entering of various types of document we have, purchase or invoice document we have, then maintaining and creating various types of accounts. So as a user, I need to create the accounts also, and these accounts could be your general ledger account, your sub ledger account, it could be your vendor account, customer account, asset account, material accounts. So these accounts can be created by the business users. Then creating and tracking the various kind of invoices which we are generating out of any purchase order, sales order, service order. Then generating the various kind of reports, we can pull out various kind of report as a user from the system for the internal as well as external reporting. Now, what are the job responsibilities we have as a consultant? So as a consultant, first of all, who is your consultant? So consultant is a developer, and and he is responsible to meet the requirement of the client. So following are the roles and responsibility of the consultant. So first of all, what he will be doing, if let's say any kind of work is to be given by the client, so he will understand first what client is looking for. He will understand what client requirements are, and if those requirements can be fulfilled in that SAP software. So first of all, he will be gathering the requirement from the client, and he will be understanding their business processes. So those processes, sometimes we call them SOPs. So he will understand those, and for these processes, SAP has already given us some best practices, as I just shared with you. By using those best practices, we can have it more productivity, more productive results. So we will be matching those requirements, those processes with the best practices given by the SAP, so that we can give the standard solution, and through the standard solution, the client requirement can be fulfilled. So what we will be doing at this point of time, so creating the business blueprint. So we need to work on various kind of documents. So we can create the business blueprint document, functional document, technical specification document. We can create a user manuals. We can create a fit and gap document. So what are all those documents? We will see one by one. So it is saying that when we are working on any of the implementation, so for that we need to follow various steps. We need to work on the business blueprint. So this business blueprint is one of the steps we have in the SAP implementation. So what are these steps? I'll first walk you through those steps. So here we have SAP methodology. It is known as ASAP methodology. It is basically, in the simple language, it is a roadmap to get this SAP implemented in any of the company. So first of all, what we have in this series of steps. So first step is we need to decide the scope, and we decide the scope under the first step called project preparation. So we will see, because if we have multiple plants for our client, they are just testing this SAP software is working or fine with for them or not. So what they want, so for example, they have 10 plants, but for 2 plants they want this SAP to be implemented. So what in the scope we can decide, we can just say that okay, these 2 plants are going to be part of the project. So this is going to be part of your first step, which is a project preparation. Then after that, for these legal entities, we can decide that how many legal entities are going to be part of it, what branches are going to be part of it, then what kind of reporting we want to have. Then we have the IFRS reporting, GAAP reporting, then how many currency they want to use. So if it is going to be a local currency or foreign currency, or we have a group currency. Then after deciding all these things, we can work on the business blueprint, we can work on the documentation. So in this documentation, what we will be doing, we will be creating the business blueprint document. So business blueprint document will work on a approach, and this approach is known as is and to be approach. What is the as is and to be approach? As is approach means what are the current processes they are following in their current system, in their legacy system, how those processes are being followed, and when they will start working on the SAP software, same processes will change or not. So if it will be changed, and if that can be, if there is some deviation or there is some gap, so that for that what we'll be doing, we will be writing a fit gap analysis. We will be doing a fit gap analysis. So what is the fit gap analysis? We will see that, okay, if let's say there are 5 steps and all the 5 steps we are going to do in the SAP, then there is no gap. We will be able to do it in the SAP software as well. But if we are saying that, okay, these are the 5 steps, but SAP recommend that these can be done within or this can be done with 4 steps or with 2 steps. So now we have a gap. So, and also let's say if a particular requirement, if the client is asking some customization means some which is different from the standard solution. So that is the gap. That is the gap we have. Let's say in the standard we have 10 column. Now client is saying that I want to introduce a one additional column, that is the 11th column, which is not under the standard. So for that we got the gap, and we will be giving in this document that how we are going to fulfill that gap so that that particular requirement can be fulfilled. So all these things we are going to be we will be doing under the business blueprint phase, and we call them business blueprint document. So once we have completed the business blueprint document, we'll start working on the software. We'll be creating a prototype. We'll be start doing the configuration, and on this configuration, we'll be doing the unit testing. And after that, we will be showing that results to our client that, okay, this is what your company reports are going to be. This is how the steps to be performed for following any of the business process. If that process is order to cash, procurement to pay, any kind of posting you are doing, any kind of reporting you are extracting from the system, so how it is going to be done. After that, we will be having the final project preparation, where we will be following the cutover activities. Cutover activity means whatever the old data you want to migrate from your legacy system to new system, SAP system. So all these things we will be doing under the final project preparation, and after that there would be a go live stage where the user will start working on the SAP environment. They will be start working on the SAP software. So they will not be using their legacy software anymore. Why? Because all the data we have now on the SAP platform. Then after that, there would be a hypercare for 2 to 3 months, and after that there would be normal support. Again, it is subject to the agreement we are having with the contract we are having with the client. If it is going to be for 1 month, for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So these are the steps we have for the ASAP methodology. Now after this, we also need to learn the SAP R3 architecture. So what is the SAP R3 architecture? R stands for real time, and 3 stands for 3 tiers or 3 systems or clients we have. So from the business side, we will be having a business application manager who would be your IT manager. So this business application manager, you need to take the approval for your day-to-day, for your any kind of development which you need to transport, which you need to send from your development client to production client. So what are all these we will see. So from the user standpoint, we need to work with this business application manager. Actually he will be the boss of all the, he will be single point of contact. Okay. Then after that we will be having the subject matter expert or the functional manager of process owners. Then we'll be also having the super users. So these all people will have a good understanding of SAP. They have the SAP knowledge. Then what do you mean by the R3? So R3 means 3 clients. Will be having the development client, then we have the quality client, and we will be having the production client. So development client means it is saying that this is a client, this we call them golden client. Why? Because on this golden client, as a consultant, we can do the configuration and we can perform the testing, and after this what we can do, we can move that particular development to the next level. So it is saying that if any end user activity is to be done, like any end user access, any user will be given the authorization on the development client. Answer is no, because it is to be controlled, or it is to be taken care of by the functional and by the technical consultant. So no end user will be doing any activity on the development client. Then we have the quality client. So quality client means whatever the development you have done as a consultant, now you will be moving that development from your first client to second client, so that your client can also do the checking. Your client can also check it if that particular development which you have done, it is working or not. So first you will be checking it, then you will ask your client to do the testing, and after, if they are good with the testing, they are what they are expecting in the result, so they are getting it, then they can just give the approval that okay, you need to move this development to the production system. So production system is their live system, their actual system where actual transactions are being carried out in the real time. So this is how we will be able to move the development from your basic system development to the production client. Okay, so whatever we have discussed so far, if anybody has any questions, so please let me know. Okay, so if you don't have any question, then I can continue. So it is saying that, yeah,
SAP FICO is needed, like financial background.
it is not mandatory. It is not
Okay.
mandatory. What you need to have a understanding of business processes, because until unless you have the understanding of business processes, then you will not be able to like develop those processes in the SAP software. Okay, so sometimes you need to understand the requirement. If you are from the finance background, okay, but you are not able to understand the client requirement, then there is no use.
Okay. Once I need to understand and I develop my skills in business means is okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have finished till this fourth point, configuration. Actually, once we have done the mapping and blueprint, then we have the function specification. So we call them FS document. So there are two type of solution we give. One is the standard solution, and second is the customized solution. So standard solution, for that we have the business blueprint, but for the, you know, that fit gap. Okay, so for the fit we have the standard solution, but for the gap we have to write this functional specification document. We call them FS. So we will be talking about this FS, okay, in detail, but these are kind of document we will be doing, and after that we will start doing the configuration, then we will be doing the testing, and then we will be moving that development from one system to another system, so that we can have the the user can start using it, and we should have the consistent result. So whatever the result we are getting in the development system, in the quality system, the same result we should get also in the production system. If you are working with your results you are getting in the quality system, your testing system, but those results, you are the same results you are not getting in the production system, then this is something we need to introspect, we need to check, we need to fix it as a consultant. So this is what we have for the SAP. We have for the SAP, and in order to get into the module FICO, or first we will talk about the finance. So here we have been given the component. So in this, I will walk you through what kind of components we have in this SAP module. So first we have the general ledger accounting, then we have the account payable accounting, account receivable accounting, then we have the bank accounting, asset accounting. So I will brief you all these components. So what do you mean by the general ledger accounting? In the simple language, we will be creating the GLs, and for these GL we will be posting the transactions. So it is saying that what this component will do, so it will record all your transactions which you will be posting in the SAP, and it will show us, because these GLs are going to show you the exact financial position of your company. Why? Because we'll be maintaining various kind of accounts. These GL account could be your income account, expense account, liability account, asset account, and we will be processing the transaction. And after that, we can do the analysis, we can do the reconciliation. So there are some month-end job which we can carry out in the under the periodic processing. And finally, we can pull out the report from the system for the internal and external reporting. Then we have the subledger accounting. So subledger accounting, it is going to support your GL only, but this subledger accounting, we can have the account payable accounting, receivable accounting. So in the simple language, account payable accounting means what? So let's assume that you have a company and you are manufacturing some product. Now you need the raw material. So from whom you will be taking the raw material? From your vendor, from your supplier. So when you are going to manage the end-to-end data for your supplier in the SAP system, that is maintained under the account payable accounting. And the same thing when you are going to do for your customer, so that is being looked after under the account receivable accounting. We call it AR accounting. So in the account payable accounting, it is saying that what it will do. So we can pose a transaction for the supplier, and in the real time, these transactions also going to feed your GL accounts. So it will also feed this income expense if you are generating some revenue, if you are incurring some expense, and accordingly the income and assets account will get hit. So it is saying that what kind of activities we will be doing under the account payable accounting. We will be creating the suppliers account. We will be processing the transaction for our suppliers. So this transaction could be a purchase invoice, incoming, outgoing payment to the supplier. Then purchase return, we call it as a credit memo. Then the payment which we are going to make to the vendor, it can be manual or automatic. Then after that, we do the reconciliation, that okay, for which invoice we have made the payment and for which invoice the payment is pending. And again, we have the periodic processing, the month-end activities for our vendor in the account payable accounting, and finally we'll be generating the reports. So the same activity when we are doing for our customer, so that we can do it under the account receivable accounting. And after that, we have the bank accounting. So under the bank accounting, we will be doing the reconciliation. Whatever the transactions you are processing from your SAP software, so those transactions should match with your bank transactions. So for that, we do the reconciliation, and that reconciliation we do it under the electronic bank statement process. So what is that, we will see in detail. Then after that, we have the next component called asset accounting. Asset accounting, here we will be looking after the fixed asset of the company. So for this fixed asset, how we can procure the asset, how we can sell the asset, and most important thing is what is the current value of that asset, which is to be shown in the balance sheet. So for that, we need to calculate the depreciation. So what are the methods we have for calculating of the depreciation? What are the objects required for that depreciation calculation? So that we will see under the asset accounting. And also for your asset accounting, we need to do the various kind of reporting. So also we need to manage our assets according to the GAAP reporting, according to the IFRS reporting, and these assets we want to show in the local currency, in the group currency. So how that can be translated, so that we will see under the asset accounting. So this is what we have for the SAP FI. Okay, if anybody has any question related to any topic, so please let me know.
Hi Jitesh, I have one doubt.
Yes, Surya.
Yeah, this actually I'm a BCom graduate. I'm currently working for the 3 years in accounting field. Whether it may suitable for me as a SAP consultant.
Yes, because you have done you are from the commerce background, finance
Yeah.
background, so it is a relevant module for you.
Mhm.
We have other module also, like the material management, sales and distribution. So those are not relevant. You can do that, but those are not relevant because that doesn't those modules don't require the finance like skill. Here this is all about the finance. Okay? And also in this FI, we will not be doing all the user activity. Why? Because for those activities we have the user. They will be doing their part, but how their activity can be done in the SAP software, so that we need to know, and for that the relevant setting we need to know as a consultant.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I will just quickly walk you through this SAP software, which you can also experience in the real time. So this kind of software you will be working on, and for that you have the ID. You will get the user ID and the password, and by default system will take you to the SAP Easy Access screen. If
Sir,
you
I
can
have
first,
one doubt.
yeah, Divya.
Sir, ECC and this S4HANA, what is the difference between these modules?
Not too much. Actually,
Okay.
there is some, yeah, there is some difference in the back end, not in the front end. Okay. Yes,
Okay.
we have the difference. We have the difference when we are managing the GLs. Okay, so that I will let you know. But it is not
Okay.
a difference through which there is no major turnaround. But yes, there is a difference, and there is a difference in the back end, not much in the front end.
Okay. As a
Okay.
fresher, which module I go, like whether I used to go ECC or S4HANA?
I would suggest to go with ECC because still there are so many clients which are on ECC and they are using, and we need to work first with the ECC, then we'll be able to understand HANA. Okay, so we need
Oh,
to go step by step.
okay. Why I'm asking means because ECC is like died in 2025. Is it true? I used to read an article. The article
Yes,
says that ECC is the end by 2025.
not it is 2030 now. It is
Okay,
2030.
sure, sure, super. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. So I was just sharing with you when you are logging you are as a consultant when you will log in. So the first screen you will be getting, it is the SAP Easy Access screen. So in this SAP Easy Access screen, we can do the testing as a user. We can work as a user. So for example, if I'm a finance user, so for that I need to go to the accounting, or even if I am a FI consultant and I need to do some testing. So I can do this testing by following this path. So I need to go to the accounting, financial accounting. You can just see here, these are the areas now where you want to do the activity. So I want to do some activity in the general ledger. In the general ledger, what I want to do, I want to create some document or display some document. I want to create some account. I want to process some reports, which we can do it under the information system, or I need to simply create a document. So here for the document, SAP is suggesting that these are the ways, or these are the options through which you will be able to post a document. So let's post a document as a user. So go to the first option, and here we can post a document. So it is going to ask you what is the document date. Document date is nothing but your invoice date. So let's imagine you are a finance person and you got a bill which you need to enter in the system. Now on that bill you will have some date. So that date you need to enter as a document date. So let's have this document date as today's date. And then we need to go down here. We will be getting a company code, a legal entity. So for which legal entity you are doing it. So let's say this is for the legal entity 7171. Then what kind of expense you want to enter. So let's say I want to enter salary expense. And if you are paying the salary, then obviously you will be doing some payments. So let's say this is the cash payment. So here we can say debit and credit. And after that, how much amount you are paying for this expense. Let's say it is 12,000. Then we can press enter button. It is saying that the text is required field, so we can enter the text. This is salary expense. So you can just see the green signal has come. So we have the equal amount on both sides, and the tick box, we can just see here we have the tick mark. Now we can post it. So the document got posted. We got the document number. It is 10013. If you want to display, you can go to the menu document display. So this is my document. If you want to see more information, you can drill down. You can double click on the line item. And also, if you want to find out some more information about the document, click on this hat. We can get the document that, okay, this was entered by whom and on which date it was entered, then what was the time. So all that information you will be getting. So this is, we can do a end user activity. But for this, in order to post this document, we need to do some setting. So that setting we need to do in the IMG screen. So how to get that IMG or consultant screen? So in order to get the consultant screen, you can just see this is a command box. Tomorrow when we will like have the regular lecture, in that I will walk you through each of these options we have on the screen. Okay, so like these button we can just see. So I will walk you through this navigation detail. Then after that we'll start working on it. So here we need to go to the SPRO. This is a transaction code which I need to enter in this command box. So SPRO stands for it is systems, it is SAP project reference object, and after that we can click on this SAP reference IMG. So IMG stands for implementation guide. In the simple language, this is a screen on which any functional consultant can start working. So this functional consultant can be a controlling consultant or a sales and distribution consultant or logistics consultant or any kind of consultant, functional consultant. So he can work on it. So as a finance consultant, I need to work on it. So what I can do, I can go to this option called financial accounting. Likewise, you can just see here we have the option for controlling, we have the planning, we have the option for the logistics, we have been given the option for the sales and distribution, material management, and so on and so forth. So we can go to the finance accounting. Under that, it is asking you, do you want to do some global setting which will be applicable to all your module, main GL and sub mod and your account payable receivable module, or you want to do some specific setting in the respective module. So here you can just see you have been given the option also. You want to do some setting in the general ledger, or you want to do something in the account receivable accounting, or you want to do something in the bank accounting, and so on and so forth. So for example, if I want to do something in the general ledger accounting, so what next you want to do? You want to create the account, and how that account can be created accordingly, the relevant object it will show you, and you can create and you can start working on it. So these are the steps we will be doing in a phase manner, in a series of steps. So for that, I will just share with you. So here I will share with you, these are the practice sheets I'm going to share with you, and it will also have some PPT which we will be discussing during our training sessions. And during the training, I will walk you through how to do the hands-on. And when you are offline, so by watching the video, by following these steps which I have already mentioned in the practice sheets. So for example, here we have the basic setting. So we will be starting with the basic setting, and after that we will go into the GLARAP thing. So here we can go at the top, and first of all, what are the objects? First we need to understand these objects and what are their impact in the SAP software. Then we will start configuring, we will be setting these objects in the SAP software. So for that, you can just see here, I have just mentioned these steps in the series. So first I will just show you during the class how to do these steps, and when you are offline, you will be doing the same thing. You will be replicating the same scenario when you are offline. And for that, you will be given this SAP system by the training desk. Okay, you can do the hands on this, and the very simple I would say thing to get to learn this SAP software is, the more you will do the hands-on, the more you will learn about the SAP, and the less you will do the hands-on, the less you will learn about the SAP. Okay, so this is all about the practice. This is all about the hands-on. If you read any book and you say that I will be perfect in the SAP, so this is not. This is actual. This is all. It depends on the practical knowledge, or it depends on the practical experience you have. Okay? So based on that, based on your practice, you will be able to know it, and you will be able to accordingly you will be able to understand your client requirement. Okay. So this is what you will be given, and we will be working on these areas, and for that I have just created some folders. for the respective area like AP, AR components we have, and I will share with you, and accordingly we can start. So if anybody has any questions, so please let me know.
Sir, is there is any skills needed for SAP FICO like Excel, PowerPoint, like these skills?
Not exactly, not exactly. It is good to have, but it is not mandatory, because those
Okay.
skills are required by the user. Why? Because they will be working on the data, which they can get it from the system in the form of reports. They can do some pivot, they can do some VLOOKUP. So these are the things which would be done by the users, business user, not by us. Okay. But
Okay.
if you
Business
have,
user
so it
means
is good
like
to
end
have.
user.
Yes,
Hello.
Divya.
You said like user, right? User means this is a end user or business consultant like other people.
when we will be doing the hands-on in this training program, so I will
Okay.
share with you the user steps as well as the consultant steps also. Okay, so we will
Okay.
be working
Okay.
as a consultant as well as we will be working as a user. Okay, because for us
Okay.
it is
Okay.
important to know what is the job responsibilities of a consultant, and it is equally important to know what are the job responsibilities of user, because after knowing it, we will be able to like deliver those, we will be able to deliver any kind of requirement asked by the user.
Okay.
Okay,
Like
so
as
for
a fresher,
example,
yes, sir.
yeah, for example, if a user is saying that while posting a document I'm getting an error, so if you don't know how
Okay.
the document is to be posted, how you will be able to do the testing? Okay, so
Okay.
you
At
need
the
to
time, I
replicate
need to
the
know
challenge.
like user activities also, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Like as a fresher, I will get a consultant job.
Yes, you can get. If you do you have any experience as a finance resource? You have any experience?
Mm, No, sir, but I have experience in digital marketing. So that
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
am a senior student, but I am
Okay.
inspired and interested in business, like business area. So that I want to switch into SAP. That's why is it okay to switch my career as a SAP consultant?
Yes, for that I think Nikita will help you out. Okay. So you can just
Okay.
touch base with her. So she will counsel
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, so please let me know. Otherwise, we can conclude today's demo session.
Sir, today's session you only walk you through financials, right? There is another part called controlling, right, sir? Are
Correct.
you
So in
walking through
controlling,
this part?
yeah, yeah, I will be covering that part also. Here,
Okay.
I'll just show you. In the controlling, like we have the component, the finance. So in the controlling, we have the component as well. So we will be working on the basic setting required under the controlling. And after that, we will be working on the cost element accounting, cost center accounting, internal order accounting, profit center accounting. Okay. And we will also have the high level understanding of product costing and COPA, which we call it costing based profitability analysis. So basically these are the reporting tool we have. So how we can work on it. So this we'll see while working on the controlling. First, we will be doing the hands-on on the finance, then we will be covering the controlling. Okay, okay Divya?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hi, Jesh. I have one doubt whether if we going to complete the course, is any certification for us?
For the certification, what you do, you can do your certification yourself. You need to first get registered yourself with SAP training, and after getting it registered, it is I think it will cost you I think 55 to 60,000. So
Okay.
you will be given 6 attempts. In those 6 attempts, you can go for the certification. So for example, in the first attempt, for God forbidden, if you are not able to certify, then you can use the second attempt for the certification, can go for the third attempt. So likewise, you have been given 6 attempts. Okay, but I hope, because of what experience I have, and what my students have done, so they are able to do it in the first, maximum in the second they are able to crack it. Okay, I will give you the certification dump also, and I will also guide how you will be able to certify yourself in the first attempt only.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and regarding the certification, you can also watch my video. I'm also on YouTube with the name Sunrise Trainings. So I have some videos on the certification. You can check them also on the SAP interviews. Okay? You can
So
check
channel name, please.
SAP trainings.
Okay, okay,
Sorry,
sure.
it is Sunrise. Sorry, it is Sunrise Training.
Sunrise training. Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, currently you are working.
Yes, I am working as a consultant here.